For the past 2 years at each Star Wars release, I've been attempting to keep my expectations at a reasonable level, so when I actually go and see the film, I won't be disappointed, but instead I might be pleasantly surprised. Each year this has not worked, because I am just into trailers and getting excited, and this year it has happened again, and I am extremely excited for Star Wars The Last Jedi. But with having a high expectation, I might get a big payoff if the movie actually is super good. From what we've seen and how they're marketing this movie, I sort of believe that this has the potential to be the best Star Wars film of all time. First of all, the marketing of this film has been very different from the past two films. In The Force Awakens, we knew going in that it was going to start with Finn going away from the First Order, landing on Jakku, meeting Rey, who then finds the Falcon, and then they leave Jakku, they meet Han Solo, they go back to the Resistance, and they've got to stop Starkiller Base, and also fight Kylo Ren on Starkiller Base. We knew this going into the film, which is actually quite a lot to know before going into a film. For Rogue One, we knew that it was going to be the story of getting the Death Star plans, which was pretty much the entire story of Rogue One. Now, for me, this didn't really take away from my enjoyment of the two films. I loved The Force Awakens and Rogue One, but it would have been kind of cool to go in with no knowledge of the films, but again, it didn't take away that much from my enjoyment of those two specific films. Now, so far, 2 months away from release, I can confidently say I don't really know anything about the story of The Last Jedi, except for Rey will be training with Luke, and Luke will be afraid to train her. We've also got some theories from, I guess you could say spoilers, from, you know, using Kylo Ren's Band-Aid or Rey's bruise to timeline the film, but apart from that, I don't really know that much about The Last Jedi. They've done a really good job of keeping it all super under wraps and the plot very hidden, with the trailers seeming to be very misleading. It's for this reason that I hope there are no more trailers. As much as we all want to see some footage, I am very quenched of my Star Wars Last Jedi thirst until the movie comes out. I'm more than willing to wait 2 months with absolutely nothing than get something potentially given away by a trailer. That would be cool, but it's not worth it in my eyes. The second thing that points towards this being a very good film is its similarities to Empire, and not in story structure, but in the reasons we loved Empire. Personally, The Empire Strikes Back is one of my favourite films of all time. It's definitely my favourite Star Wars film, and what I love about it is that it gets these characters that A New Hope established, and puts them into really interesting situations, and really just cool things, and I don't know really how to explain it in words that well, but I don't know, something about the characters and how they interact in Empire Strikes Back really interests me. But being the second in the trilogy, it had that advantage of not having to develop characters from the start, but instead being able to put them into a situation where they can further develop them in a very good way. Now we are going into The Last Jedi with some very well developed characters. A lot of people didn't like The Force Awakens, but one thing most of us agree on is that The Force Awakens had really good characters. We've got Luke, who's this Jedi, his hero, who has gone away from everything for some reason that we do sort of know, but we don't fully understand. We have Rey, who has grown up her whole life waiting for a family, and growing up with that realization that they might not come back, and who is really strong in the Force. We have Finn, who's deserted the First Order, which is a dynamic we haven't really seen before. We have Poe, who's, I mean, he's just a good pilot, but I mean, he might have some more development. He's probably one of the weaker characters. And, you know, we've got Snoke, who's shrouded in mystery, and Leia, that's probably going to die because Carrie Fisher passed away. But so many characters that are really interesting. We know from the original trilogy, now we know from The Force Awakens, and they're all going to come together and they're going to do some really interesting stuff. And the third thing is The advancements in technology and how the action sequences and just kind of all sequences in general are going to look and feel a lot better than they have in the past. The original trilogy was great, obviously we all love them, but the one thing that they might have for them is that the action scenes weren't that intricate or exciting, which is one thing that the prequels did sort of improve on, except that it was bland because of the characters. Now we're going to get some modern action with very well developed characters. We're going to get some cool lightsaber duels, which we haven't seen since the prequels, and the prequels lightsaber duels were a lot less grounded. The Force Awakens lightsaber duel was really cool, but now we're going to see two trained people going against each other. We're going to explore the Force, we're going to explore all new types of lore, and I'm very excited for this film, and I think it definitely has the potential to be one of the best Star Wars films of all time. We have Rian Johnson at the helm, and I think he's very capable, and I can't wait to see what The Last Jedi is like. Thank you all so much for watching my video today. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button to see what content you guys want. Hit that subscribe button if you want to be notified when I make new videos. I hope you have enjoyed this video today, and I hope you have a great day.